Okay, hello everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Okay, so this was our last program using dialog boxes, to be specific, the JOptionPane class. So let's just quickly go through it to see what it does. So basically, we imported the JOptionPane class over here, and we called the JOptionPane.showInputDialog to kind of display a dialog box to the user with a message on there telling the user to enter their first name. It also had a text box so the user could enter their first name. So the user enters their first name and it stores the first name. We know that the JOptionPane.showInputDialog method always returns, whatever the user types, it returns it back. And so when it's returned back, we store it in user first name. We did the same thing for user last name. So we basically, after the user types in their first name and last name, we will have those names stored in these two variables. And then we use the JOptionPane.showMessageDialog, which is basically another dialog box to show what the user typed. And null over here basically centers the dialog box on the screen. If we have a program that has multiple dialog boxes, we can change this value here to basically offsets the position, but null will basically center the dialog box, and it will display whatever you type into this show message dialog as the second argument. All right, so unlike this kind of class, anytime you use the JOptionPane class, even if the program executes the last line of your code, it's not done executing. It doesn't stop there. With a scanner class, and if you write a program using this kind of class, once the program executes the last line, once the last line is executed, the program is done. But with the JOptionPane, anytime you use the JOptionPane class, an extra thread, an extra task is basically run. You cause an extra task to run, and that task is called a thread, basically. So the thing is, you have to basically do one more step to close that or to end that task. Anytime you use the JOptionPane, that task is run, which is called a thread, and we have to basically do one more thing, or basically go one more step, a step further to terminate that task. So let's just run this program to first of all see how it runs, and I'll kind of point out how you can visually see that task. Right? We can't see it with our eyes, but it happens behind the scenes. So I'm going to enter first name, and then hit enter, and then enter last name. And you can see over here this kind of icon, right? It's basically the icon for the dialog boxes. When I hit OK, we can see that it's working. It says hello, my name, and then good morning. And we can see this over here. Once I hit OK, the program is done. The last line of the code has been executed, but we can see that this thing is still here. This icon is still here. When I click it, nothing happens. So visually, you can kind of visually view that task or that thread by the icon over here. In Windows, it may be a bit different. In Mac, it looks like this. So the reason why this is still running is because you can kind of visually view it that way, that that extra task that is started by the JOptionPane is still running, and so we have to terminate it in order to really stop this program. Otherwise, it may still be running, and it can give you, although you may not see that it's really causing harm to your program. In the future, it can cause harm in some way, right? It's possible. So you want to basically end your program, terminate it completely. And the way you do this is after your last line of code, you basically make a call to System.exit. And System.exit will basically terminate that thread. I'm also going to pass in a number 0, and I'll explain that in a second. So you call System.exit, which is going to basically terminate that extra task, which is called a thread, which is that is started by the JOptionPane. And I'm passing in this 0. I'm passing in 0 over here, and this 0 is basically passed back to the operating system. And when the operating system sees that 0 was passed, it's normally an indication that your program ran successfully. It got to this point, and 0 was passed back, or 0 was sent to the operating system. The operating system is able to say, okay, your program ran successfully, because it was able to run all these lines and get to this point, get to this last line, and zero was able to be passed back to the operating system, which is normally an indication that the program runs successfully. System.exit will terminate that extra thread also. Now, in the future, we can test on this value. We can test this value. We can work with this 0 value, to basically check. We can check to see, okay, was 0 passed to the operating system, and if it was, then we kind of have an idea that the program runs successfully. So we can write code to kind of do something if the program runs successfully. Right? It's just an idea, but just know that system.exit terminates that extra task that is started from the JOption pane. And 0 is an indication. 0 is passed back to the operating system. It's an indication that the program ran successfully. So let's test this again to see if we're going to see this icon once the program is done running. So compile this again, run it. Going to enter my name, and then last name, first name, and last name. Hit OK. But you can see it's still there. But once I hit OK, the program is done running. Right? It's going to hit the system.exit, and then this should go away. So I'm going to hit OK, and we can see that it went away. I don't know if you saw it, but it happens. It happened very quickly. And then also Java is telling me that the interaction window was terminated by a call to system.exit. So that's basically this call. Again, this is a method. Exit is a method, right? So we are making a call to it. We'll talk more about methods, but we are making a call to this method. When we just use a name, we are calling it. And when we type in a value here, we are passing in what's called arguments into the method in the parentheses. We'll talk more about methods. So it's saying the interactions window was terminated by a call to system.exit, and the interactions window will now be restarted, right? So you can basically say, do not show this message again. I tend to do that, and hit OK. And we can see that that icon is no longer there. So that extra task, which is called a thread, has been terminated. Anytime you use a JOption pane, once you're done using it, make a call to system.exit to terminate that extra thread that is started by the JOption pane. Let's run it one more time. Since I've basically told Dr. Java, okay, to not show me that dialog box again, that icon will just disappear, and we won't see anything else. So compile, run. Let's try it one more time. Just going to use, let's just type in the full name, then last name. So I'm just going to have it here. I'm going to hit enter for OK, right? So let's see if that works. OK. I'm going to hit enter one more time, and then now we should see this icon disappear. So hit OK, and it's gone. And so you can you can kind of visualize that thread as that icon you saw in both Windows in both Windows and Mac. But really, the idea is that an extra task, which is called a thread, is started anytime you use the JOptionPane class, and so you have to terminate it, right? If not, you may run maybe problems with memory or something in the future, right? But the thing is, we want to terminate the program, have the program stop running, right? Because otherwise, you'd create a program, you may think you've closed the program, but then it's still running, which uses memory and all kinds of stuff, right? Potential problems in the future. You just want to get rid of it. Okay, so if you have any questions, so just make sure you make a call to system.exit, right? Right. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll do everything to respond to them. Comments down below in the comment section. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time with the next video. All right then. Bye-bye.